Cycle 4 is here, ladies and gentlemen, and you are gonna watch it tonight. It is the first round, and it's between impunity.storm and neos.mrr. It's gonna be a thrilling Thursday here. It's Babel, and joining me is my usual lovely Lark.
Again with the lovely, but yeah, super glad to be here. It's been a really long time since we've casted some G League action. It's been a while, so it's really good to see that we have Impunity Storm versus MR straight up in the first first round over here. So it's gonna be really exciting to see.
Yeah, what a way to start Cycle 4, man. Imperial Storm definitely now. I think it's safe to say that VN Sensation is in here with them. Look at the cycle there is in the entire roster. In the orange spot is VN Sensation. I do believe that's the right one. And it's kind of official right now. Cycle 4 has been a cycle that every single team is dreaming about. Because, you know, the way that HoNTourSEA works is that you just keep thinking that there is another chance. But once you hit Cycle 4, this is your last shot. If you don't win this, or rather if you don't meet the playoffs even, you don't have enough points, you will not go further than this. And this is it for you. And that will be in the entire tour for most of these teams here. But at the G League, you know, some of these teams that definitely want to win this cycle. And right off the bat, you have round one, both of these teams facing off. Imperial Storm and MRR, man. Neither of these teams have won a cycle before, and they need it. Imperial Storm more desperately than MRR, but anyway, whoever wins this cycle, it's still going to be a really thrilling cycle for us.
Yeah, definitely. And about the VN Sensation, I actually did a little quick PA over there, and it seems like he's not. He's actually playing from his hometown. I have no clue where it is. He's like sitting at 476 ms. So hopefully that doesn't affect his gameplay too much in this game, because
Yeah.
this is quite a really important game for them, seeing as to how, it's kind of like the first time we're actually seeing Gen Sensation together with the rest of the team. So, it could be pretty damn interesting to see.
It would be, and also the fact that the ping aside, I do believe that they're having a little bit of trouble trying to fly Vian Sensation over, maybe because of visa issues or maybe because of some other related problems there. But I hope that, like you mentioned, this will not affect the team's performance. That said, MR will have a slight advantage coming to this game because they do not have as much of a ping problem. They are playing in Thailand, and this being a Thailand server, I hope that both teams will have better ping at this game, specifically because Imperial Storm's net is not always the best, and I hope that, hopefully the RNG gods is going to make sure that this is going to be fine. That's it. The first banning phase already nicely completed here. We have the Peasants, the Tempest, Sandrift, as well as that of the Engineer. Wow, no Keeper being banned, so that means that Keeper is going to be first picked up here. No Engineer, which means the MOA is going to be left without his soulmate.
Without a soulmate, yeah, the wild west, the dual guns like you always mention. Yeah, I think it's pretty standard bans. They're just coming out from both teams. Pestilence, surprisingly, will be banned out the first banning stage. Usually you'd see something like a fade, but I think Impunity Storms are really afraid of the growing popularity of this hero, especially in that mid lane role when he's able to take off from early snowball advantage and just find a portal key and just set up ganks wherever he can with a very aggressive lineup team. And you can see right off the bat, like Hellburn team is gonna get that Master of Arms. They don't have a jungle perspective just yet. They could even go for dual supports. Not it's not something that it's unusual. We see it a lot, especially in Southeast Asia. They really love to run their dual dual supports over there. But this Legion team, Ophelia does get picked up for Impunity Storm here, so we will be seeing Bastomp, I believe, playing this Ophelia. As to how it's gonna do with this mech ring, hopefully it's gonna be pretty good. They do have Keeper and Ophelia, so that means there's a lot of push potential coming out already. But you see the quick response pick of Kraken. That's another hero that's on the rise as well because he's just so strong in that off lane over there.
Yeah, and it's going to be really exciting to see that. That being said, though, I do believe that the Ophelia and Keeper being lined up here, like I nicely mentioned, the Keeper should be going to the off lane, and that could work in a wide variety of reasons as well. I do know that he does have the Keeper dogs to work with, and those are just very effective in pulling the lane. That being said, Kraken is actually going to be on the Hellborn team, and I just love to see that because I do believe MRR was one of these teams, or rather one of the first team in Southeast Asia to run the Kraken lineup in their whole draft there. So I am thinking if this is going to be working well against this really professional and seasoned players coming from Impunity Storm. Of course, all of them have been to DreamHack before, except for Bastom. That being said, though, I do believe that it is going to be really thrilling to see this match between Kraken as well. So it's going to be a hack pickup, but should be able to do quite well. I do believe it will be a hack on Nox, and he's going to be playing it as a carry.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be that hack, and that's such a very strong combination. I always mention it about the keeper hack combination, just so strong. You have one lockdown to lock everyone in place, and when a huge team fight happens, you see the bat blast go on top of everyone's face, and it does like so much damage, especially with the Grim of Power, which is usually the go-to item, like the first item you wanna pick up on a wretched hack right after you pick up your things like a steam boots on your hero, or even like a power supply on top of that. So, it's just a lot of team fight potential there. You have Keeper, Hag, you have the defensive capabilities from Ophelia, who's probably gonna rush for an early Astrolabe if they wanna, set up some pushes, since they do have the Keeper there. As for the Hellborn team, they're gonna go with Bubbles, so there's the lockdown already. Uh, it's not as great, of course, with the Kraken because you want something to lock them in place first, and then follow up with a Kraken ultimate, something like like a Tempest or even a Keeper Root would be pretty good. But I think Bubbles will still fare decently. There is no Sand Wraith in this game because it was banned out, so they won't have that to work with the bubbles. But I think there's still a lot of other options in terms of carries that they can go for.
Yep, and well, there's also the Fate being shadow picked there. If it is going to come true, as in if it's going to be realized here on Team Hellboy, it should be a lot of aggression coming up from them in the early stages of this game, and that will mean that Impunity Storm cannot play too passively. Do not they have the Ophelia and the Keeper, which just nicely translate to very good push potential from the Legion team. The biggest problem with that is that they are just so weak individually, and if it's being caught up by a Fate, it is going to be really scary. However, the Sandrift being banned away straight up in the first banning phase means that there is no Fate Sandrift gang combo. However, there's also the Pebble still alive in this game, and that's going to be really scary if it's going to be picked by Team Hellborn.
Yeah, I mean Pebbles is a hero that sometimes gets picked up, sometimes doesn't. Like even when he makes it through, like the banning phase and such, it's just because there's that much more rotation of heroes in the pool in the current metagame, and that's just really good to see. Like it's exciting because you always see different heroes some of the times, and Southeast Asian teams they're really crazy when they want to run a certain strategy. They'll put another hero instead of like your conventional Pebbles or like your Fade. They could do something else entirely different. Like they've ran a couple of times Kraken mid when usually you see Kraken in that off lane. So, it's not surprising to see that. They are gonna ban out Soul Stealer over here from Storm, so I think they are a little bit afraid of Do I Kill You's Soul Stealer. If I'm not mistaken, they were the ones that actually pulled the Soul Stealer strategy on one of the teams. I think it was in Storm as well. I can't really recall from Cycle
Yeah,
3
back in Cycle
where
3, yeah.
yeah, where Dweckly just completely snowballed out of control that just couldn't be stopped, and they know that that's a very strong hero, so that can work and can tie nicely with this Kraken and Bubbles if there's that advantage of that snowball. Like you said, Pebbles will be picked up here
Yep.
for Legion teams, so that's a lot of aggression already.
Yeah, but I was wondering, the Pebbles not being banned also could mean that Imperial Storm having the first pick would definitely want to offer that. They do, as in MR did address most of these Emperor heroes like the Rally, the 945, the Revenor. All three are pretty well known on Emperor already. He does play the middle lane for those who doesn't know that. And that being said, the Pebbles being the only one unbanned, he would definitely be the pick that coming from the Legion team. However, that leaves Hellborn with very few possibilities left. The Fate could be a go ahead, but if it's gonna be a Fate, it would be pretty scary because it would mean a lot of early game aggression also from MRR's part. And yep, it's gonna be a Fate.
Yeah, and I think this would probably be a secondary support Fade unless they're gonna run a Master of Arms carry. It's kind of iffy in my opinion because you have your offlane bubbles already.
Yep.
You have your mid lane Kraken, which I don't really like. I feel like Kraken's still better in that offlane rather
Well,
than the mid lane with the support because if he gets at early levels, he can do a lot more for his team. Uh, but because they have the Fade here, it's definitely gonna be a dual support here. You from Master of Arms and Fade. I don't think this Luna pickup will be there unless they're gonna run Kraken as more of that carry-ish role, which could be a
mhm.
possibility. But you see already it's being swapped over the 3-1X, so I think it's gonna be being played in that mid lane.
Yeah, but again, do note MR just they do change the roster quite a fair bit. Not the full roster, but the role in terms of Chidamikes playing in the offlane. And that being said, yep, it's gonna be 070 slots gonna be picking up with the CD. CD definitely is gonna help them with a lot of early game push as well. But do note that Fate is gonna be on Color X, so yes, it's gonna be secondary support. And that being said, one of these other teams that I have paid special attention to with the Fate lineup is Orangey Spots. Fate being Oshoi in the dual support and the secondary support role is just so effective. He just sets up all the ganks, and that basically won him a lot of games there. So you can't really say that Fate is not effective in the secondary support. It's just not as good as the spot where he wanted, the sweet spot of the mid there. That being said, game 1 well underway here, and it is just about to start. Lark, any last word before going into this action?
Legion team's lineup is pretty strong now because of that Pyromancer edition. A lot of burst potential there coming from them, both physical and magical. And yeah, as for Hellborn, they have a lot of gank presence at the early start of the game.
Yep, that is correct. And that's it. I do believe that game 1 now is going to be starting quickly. I'm going to quickly introduce these players as well as teams on Team Legion. We got Impunity.storm and Captain and Drafter there. Nova is going to be the Pyromancer. We have Ophelia on to the best Storm. The other way around, sorry. Nox gonna be playing as the Wretched Hag. Emperor gonna be the big rock there. Actually, it kinda looks like him also. That being said, VN Sensation is gonna be your keyboard of course. And on the Hellborn team, we got Illusion MR all the way from Thailand, equally desperate to want to win as much games as possible to just secure the big win in Cycle 4. We got Colorex, and that is gonna be your Fate. Bomber Small gonna go to the support MOE route. We do have Chitawanex, and that's gonna be your Kraken. Duikyu gonna be playing as the carry, Corrupted Disciple. Last but not least, we do have O7TV1, and that would be your Bubbles. I hope that he is gonna be the Bubbles in the off lane.
Yep, and okay, I'm gonna stray away a bit from this game because is it just me or do you see like a little triple that follows Ophelia all around? Is that part of the avatar? I don't think I see that. Do you know what I mean? Like that little triple there under.
Yeah, it's been around. It's been around. It's this alternate avatar.
Is it if you have all the that rise of neutral stuff and whatnot they call it?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm
Okay.
not a
Anyway.
fan of the triples, but they haven't been communicating to me,
It
I've been
looks
paging
pretty
them, but
freaking.
they're just not responding. Anyway,
Yeah, it looks
back
awesome.
to this game.
Yeah, but
That's interesting observation on our part, really. But that being said, before we go too off topic here, what do you think the laning is going to be like coming from the Hellborn team? Do you think that it's pretty questionable so far? Do you think the Bubbles is going to do well in the mid lane? Because Orangey Spots, Kido, he plays really well Bubbles in the mid lane, and you just can't argue that Bubbles definitely need to go down south.
I mean, usually if it's played in a mid lane, that means you just want to set up a tri-lane aggression at a certain lane, whether it be the off or the short lane. It really depends on a team. In this kind of scenario, for Legion's lineup, you see already, you're gonna have a jungle Ophelia with a Nox farming at the bottom lane. Emperor and Nova will definitely be mid with VN Sensation at top. So it's just gonna be your conventional, 2-2-1 kind of setup. Well, 1-2-1 and one in jungle kind of setup. But yeah, as for Helping team, because of this, they could actually set up a tri-lane aggression against this Hag if they wanted to, because if they shut down Hag in the early start of the game, if they win that middle lane advantage, like say if Bubbles goes solos at the mid, and he's able to kite the stuns coming from both Nova and Emperor, then they will do fairly well. But it is very risky for them. I'm not sure if they're gonna opt for more of a tri-lane aggression, but we'll just have to wait and see. I do believe that it would be better if they just set up onto the very conventional lanes with corrupted top. You have mid with this Kraken or Master of Arms or this what's his name Fade, but Fade definitely will probably be running top and bottom, top and mid, sorry, while Bubbles just sits in the off lane.
Yep, so they do manage to get a ward off there. It's going to be a ward of Wrath there to just cancel the pool cam, as well as a ward of Sight to just prevent a little bit of farm from the Ophelia. There's also extra warding happening. And that being said, the stun from Nova is going to land quickly on Bomb Rush Ball. That's going to mean a lot of trouble for this MOA. And here comes a little bit of backup. Bubbles, is he going to be able to save his teammate? It is going to be pretty questionable. But here comes the Fate with the Burning Shadow. Yes, it's going to be successful. And the health potion is going to pop quickly, but it's going to get quickly cancelled by Ophelia. Bastom doing some work there. The second stun from Nova is going to miss. So they are not going to get a kill there. But that being said, the wards have been completed there. The Ward of Sight is going to block out all the level 5 cam, as well as the Ward of Wrath to block out the pool cam.
Yeah, it's really. It almost seemed like they were able to pick up the kill. Bottom lane, you see already aggression from Hag as well as Bubbles. Hag actually completely going to harass this Bubbles right off the bat. That's just making sure that this Bubbles doesn't get anything for his team, because if he doesn't, if he gets a quick level 6 and can stay in the lane, because you see right here, Massive
The
Arm.
stun from the MOA goes in really quickly. Now Hag is gonna be a little bit of trouble. Nox there. Welcome to Thailand.
Yeah, that aggression over there, man. That's all about the way that the playstyles of this Thailand teams, they really love to set up the aggression right off the bat. So it will be this Kraken solo mid, but I do believe that Master of Arms will probably rotate mid again because Kraken will eventually need that help. He is fairly tanky himself. I mean, he's a strength hero who just has a very high strength gain, so shouldn't have that much of an issue. Plus, he already leveled up the Tsunami Charge, so he has that escape mechanic over there. You see, there's a Minotaur with this affiliate behind. They could actually pick up a kill on Kraken if they play this really nicely, but there
Yep,
is that
and
Tsunami Charge.
yeah, mid lane, a little bit of a gang was actually about to go down there, but Ophelia Minotaur was actually being spotted out, and Kraken playing really well and safe. Chitamanex actually, no, it wasn't really safe there. Minotaur definitely looking for a quick stun, but the Tsunami Charge is going to be really effective, and that is the escape mechanism coming out from the Kraken. So do note that he is always having the extra ability run away. The only problem and downside is the fact that it's very consuming in terms of mana intensive, so he doesn't have that to use with all the time. So if he just does another Tsunami Charge, he should be down to almost no mana left.
Yeah, I mean, that mana issue is of course something that he has to take care about, but bottom lane Hag's actually doing a really good job. Gonna get stunned again by this Master of Arms though, but he is doing fairly well, seeing as to how he's facing off against the Master of Arms and Bubbles. Bubbles already against the Hag, it's a really tight competition, I have to say, and with that added extra support coming from Master of Arms, it just makes it that much more harder. Middle lane though, Kraken, just taking a quick look at his stats, he's sitting at 7-0 as compared to Pebbles, who's 11-3. So he himself is doing really well as well, and he could possibly get that snowball advantage himself for his team and set up ganks probably at the bottom to just completely lock down Hag, or probably even just push down the top lane. As you see, Vian Sensation. Oh yeah, bottom lane.
Hold that tall a little bit because we have Invisible. Nova's gonna land a quick Dragon Flame there. Maybe with the Phoenix Wave, he could tidy up this kill. But no, Ophelia is gonna get that. That's gonna be interesting though. It's not going to the Hag, but that's okay. As long as they do get a Bloodlust extra gold for the entire team. Because it's 200 extra, so it does help them with a little bit of advantage so far in its early stages of this game. That being said, now mid lane is what I love to see, a beefcake fight between Emperor as well as Jirvanex, both being really tanky and all. It's gonna be a nice chuck, not like it deals a lot of damage really, but still the splash on Kraken is just really ridiculous.
Yep, and it's so much more better now because the cooldown actually gets reduced with every auto attack. You see again, oh, he just misses. Oh, just missed the Tsunami Charge.
If it's a hit, actually could be something there, but Stilling is gonna land quickly with the stun from Pyromancer and the second chuck. This could be it, and Emperor is gonna win a big arm wrestle there in the mid lane. So that definitely is going to the Vin Diesel look like.
Vin Diesel look like, oh my god. Yeah, but that was just really good plays there. But Master of Arms just gonna throw out some harass. Fade, unfortunately, has not been able to set up much of a gank. And we haven't talked much about the top lane, but I want to give huge props to Vian Sensation, who's doing a really good job of actually rotating towards the jungle there, coming up from Hellborn team, and actually picking off some, farm himself while the rest of this Hellborn team is just too busy in their lanes. That's actually a really good job by him, and he's already at level 4 by the way. If you take a look at his stats, he's 17-3, and that's against this Corrupted Disciple who's 21-4, but having rotated towards the jungle and now sitting at level 4, it's a really good job, seeing as to how the top lane had that Fade to work with.
Yep, and that compared with Bubbles standing about only 14 crit kill, I would say that definitely it's still pretty much a game that's split down the middle so far. 1k goal lead for Team ImpunityStorm, and staring about 2-0 here at about 4 minutes 30 seconds into this game. It seems like it could be anyone's game so far, and it's gonna be really careful because do note that Nox is just such a GPM beast, man. And already at about 200 plus, do note there was a lot of harassment in the early stages of this game, so if they can't shut him down, it would be a GG well played already.
He is farming really nicely, and Bubbles is having a hard time, even though he had the support from Master of Arms, which is really surprising to me. Middle lane though.
Yeah, melee limited engagement happening there. Pyromancer. Oh, the Tsunami Charge misses again. But that being said, Burning Shadow also gonna miss. Only the ace up my sleeve is gonna nicely hit up on the Pyromancer. That being said though, it's gonna be looking just good so far. And Nova is just so close to death again. It's like you can feel the Reaper breathing into his ears there.
Yeah, that was just like a really huge misplace coming from the Hellborn team. The Fate Stun even missed over there. That was actually good reaction time coming from Master of Arms to use the charge shot onto Nova there from the Pyromancer as soon as he was being tossed in. You could tell that Emperor was probably saying, dude, I'm gonna toss you in as kind of
second charge shot, and here comes the Torrent, but not enough mana on the Kraken. He does have enough, sorry, for the Tsunami charge, but will not get it off there. He has been missing quite a few Tsunami charge. Could have got the kill on Emperor if he did it correctly the first time, and second time also missed it by a fair bit there. That being said, it's nothing to be too much worried about. Down south, it's going to be a little bit of the increased aggression coming from Nox onto the bubbles being played by 07TV here. It's going to be pretty interesting to see that. That being said though, so far 6 minutes in and 2-0. The runes are going to pop quickly. It's going to be a top rune, so that's going to go to Emperor. I do believe he does have the haste rune on the pebbles. That's going to be really scary from the Legion team if he does decide to roam around and gank, exerting a little bit more beefcake pressure in this game.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna be able to kill Kraken unless he gets a huge chuck back towards the Pyromancer. But even then, it's kind of hard to tell because Kraken always has the ability to just run away with the Tsunami charge. It's gonna take a lot of communication between the team to really pick off that kill. He even gets Steam Boots delivered to himself. I'm surprised he doesn't have Bottle just yet, but yeah, he's doing a pretty decent job because he has the Steam Boots already, so he has that ability. I actually sometimes kind of agree with the phase boots pick up so that you can actually run behind the person and push them back with the Tsunami charge, but you can kind of combat that with something like a portal key, so not that much of an issue. And Steam Boots is just really good choice, of course, with the ability to just cycle your boots and get more mana, more HP, more attack speed, all that kind of jazz. I wanted to address the fact that top lane, they have not done anything with regards to this Corrupted Disciple, and it's getting really scary because he's already sitting at 337 gold per minute on his team, and that could be very devastating as well, because if he is able to pick up on some early game aggressive items, he can set up for quick fights with this Kraken and the Master of Arms. There's decent stun potential coming from this Hellborn team also because they have the Fade as well, and Bubbles is level 6 already with a Kelp field, so he should probably rotate around, maybe even set up a kill in mid.
Be careful now, but there's actually Ophelia behind there, and yeah, that being said, he's actually going to go to the side shop there, and I mean, Ophelia backed off at a really bad time here. Should have just stayed a little bit longer, and the patience would definitely pay off. That being said, however, nicely pointed out by you, the Corrupted Disciple has got very good farm. GPM level of about 340 plus, definitely very high as compared to Nox, but there we go. Mid lane, a little bit extra aggression, maybe the Lyric stun, but not going to get it done there. And it seems like the gank is going to fail, and Nox will still have a little bit of extra space to farm. But that being said, there's a lot of catch up to do on Nox's part, because he is ultimately about 20 crypts behind, maybe 15 plus crypts behind the CD, and he needs to get it addressed quickly.
But even then, he's doing a really good job because you have to remember he had that aggression coming up from a Master of Arms at the early portion of this game. He's not going to get the rune, unfortunately. Oh, middle lane, I think there might be some action here as Pebbles is hasted.
Hasted Emperor, he actually just nicely connects Spider, and the overcharge shot's gonna land quickly with the ultimate from the Kraken. No, but Nova lands a nice stun. Is it gonna be enough? The Tsunami charge this time gonna land. Stalagmite is gonna come out, but Emperor with such a slow movement speed actually is able to just quickly run away there. Yep, he does have only the Steam Boots and no Ghost Marchers. That being said though, he does have the ability to pop out the quick out potion. He's just so close there, so nicely able to run away. Again, he can feel the air from the Reaper, and they are actually gonna de-ward away this Ward of Wrath. Their Fate is very potent at level 6, and I do believe the Ward of Wrath was placed a little bit too early coming from the Legion team.
That was just really good placement on that Kraken ultimate. Nothing to take away from Hellborn.
There we go, Stalagmites again. Here comes Emperor. Is he going to be able to do something here? Nope, not going to do a reverse chuck, and seems like the stun's not going to go in his direction. Nova with a very nice stun. Two-man stun again. It's going to be really effective. Meanwhile, down south, Nox is going to address the bubbles, cooking up a really good soup for us today. It's going to be Chef Nox, and it seems like a 3-0 already. 2,000 goal lead for the Legion team. Doing a really good job so far. Nox definitely with that kill. He is going to spiral into 300 GPM. Slightly behind that of the CD, 350, but should be able to catch up soon. That being said, it's just so close again. Low health on almost everyone in the Legion team.
Yeah, that was good rotation coming out from Ophelia. He picked up the kill, and this time around he was actually able to micro his minions properly. They're even gonna get this tier 1 bot, so that's really nice for them. The glyph also gonna be forced out. Bubbles, oh here comes all the parts. Ophelia might be dead.
We have a lot of port coming down south. We're gonna be really careful. Bast, I'm a lot of trouble. Gonna land a stun quickly on the bubbles, but he knows that he is gonna be dead meat already. And down goes Ophelia with the, well, he does have Lyric to accompany him to the grave, so that's gonna be fine. And that being said though, Legion team, they do manage to take out the tier 1 down south, and that's the bottom lane for you guys there. So 10 minutes up already, 3-1, and so far a lot of aggression coming from the Legion team. But Hellborn team nicely gonna be able to cope up with that. Do note that they still have the Corrupted Disciple that's just standing at very close, very low health again, and not going down. A little bit sad to see that, and it's completely unfortunate coming from the Legion team, that is.
Yeah,
that's it. Middle lane, Pyromancer! Down goes Novar. Wow. It's gonna be hasted MOA. That's gonna be a reason of death there for them. It's going to be really bad, but so far things are slowly spiraling out of control from the Legion side. They do have all the towers still intact, but they haven't really addressed the CD, and that being said, mid lane, Kraken is already level 7, and should be looking at pretty good items soon.
Yeah, that was just good rotation again coming up from Hellburn team. They have to make the most out of every rune that they can get right now, and just pick off kills wherever they can, because they are quite far behind for a team that, you know, wants to have more aggression bottom lane.
Yep, Fate, not level 6. A little bit sad to see that. If he was level 6, definitely the kill would be a lot more possible. Do note that with Reflection, he will be able to definitely close up with the hack. Hack's already level 9, and that is by far the highest level in the entire game. Do note that CD just only nicely meeting level 9 a few seconds ago. And that being said, though, Hack would definitely have the level advantage coming in so far, but I mean, playing as the Hack, you can expect a lot of early game rotation with the Bat Blast. I mean, every single time it's off cooldown, you should be looking at a gank, and should be looking at picking up some nice kills with the synergy coming from the rest of your teammate, and I do believe that's what's gonna happen right now. And the triple actually gonna nicely run behind Mother Ophelia there. Okay, it's really sad to see. That being said, though, the tier 1 and mid lane is gonna be challenged by the entire Legion team. There's a lot of Keeper Dogs there, as well as the Minotaur. It should be enough though, but the Hellbourne team is going to respond quickly in kind, and that's going to be 3 members here already. Top lane, VQ is going to nicely score the tier 1 hit, so it's going to be a healthy trade and nothing more than that. Acid Bomb's going to come down here, and even Bubbles, but he's not going to commit to anything, and they are going to back off nicely and safely.
Yeah, that's still a good trade though for this Legion team, because they get mid tower, and that's a huge tower over there in this game.
Oh, they might want to kill Emperor right now. There we go. Pebbles is going to face off against the Kraken, and here comes the Bubbles as well. But Nova lets good stunts again, and it's going to be the Aldi onto the Bubbles, but he can catch that nicely and run away. Here comes Ophelia. Is she able to do anything at all? That's the question though. And it seems like not going to be good enough, but here comes Nox, and Nox looking to save Nova, his captain, but he's able to do that. The HoN is going to be enough, and it seems like the Ophelia heal is again a little bit clutched there. Nox does a double damage. If he does to turn this around, that's the side to turn this around, he could possibly get it done there. But VN Session coming a little bit too late. Root's going to be used to just pick up CD. It's going to be a big kill if it's going to be done though, but it should be enough, and Ophelia just microing all the cooks. It's going to make sure that it's going to send you the kill, but it's going to be a hat-trick gun for both Cheetah as well as Nox. But it seems like it's going to be a quad kill for Nox, and it will nicely silence Cheetah quickly, and that being said, 70-5 so far, 13 minutes up already.
Double damage doing work, enough said. That was really good placements with the Splash of Darkness, always setting up for the proper kills, and yeah, that was a huge quad kill for this team, man. That just sets them back again. I mean, not set them back, but this puts them that much more again into the lead. It kind of looked like it was a little bit more dangerous for Legion team, because they lost out on who was it, Nova, as well as Bastom, and a whole bunch of other guys, Emperor as well, who was initially caught out from this Kraken and Master of Arms, was it? But yeah, that was just really clutch coming out from. No, sorry, not Master of Arms, Bubbles. Yeah, it's really clutch coming out from this Hag to have the double damage. That sets it with so much gold. He finally finishes his light brand, 30 minutes into the game, on top of a Mystic Vestments, power supply boots, and his bottle. So that's really good. I gotta say though, there was a bit of miss micro again coming out from Ophelia during the earlier part of that engagement, but was able to, you know, still work it out in the end, of course, because he was dead, so he just only had to control his minions. But here we go, Bubbles.
Yep, it seems like Bubbles is going to be a little bit of a tight spot here. VN Sensation is going to have to stay safe, and will actually be able to just avoid that shell surf coming from the Bubbles. He is still in Vis, and without the curfew to deal with, he should be just fine. But he is actually going to try and block out the pull cam here. But it's already triple stack, so not really sure what he's trying to achieve. Yep, he is going to be able to fall away quickly. And the shell surf this time around is not going to meet, so such a close shave again.
That was so close, because that ward of sight actually spotted him out, if I'm not
he did.
mistaken.
Bomber Chapel's ward of sight there did a lot of work, and that being said, could have resulted in a kill, but the quick pot away by the keeper is going to make sure that that is not going to be possible. That's it. Triple elusive Master of Arms going to be end of his vicinity. It seems like it's not going to translate to a gank, but definitely a lot of work is going to be on this Pebbles. He's already looking at a quick follow key soon. I do believe that he has that already. There we go, and that means that a lot of extra tossing action is going to happen quickly into this game, and you should be really careful for Pebbles with portal key. Maybe 15 minutes, not the fastest Pebbles with the portal key, but I would say that it is definitely something to boost about.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have that portal key on Pebbles, I mean, yes, you may not be picking up kills, but it just forces the Hellburn team to play that much more passively and much more safer, because if they get caught out, they will give farm to this Pebbles, because he will ultimately just kill you with a combination. He can do that to like a Fade, maybe not a Fade, because Fade does have has that Steam Boots right now. He could probably do that to that Master of Arms, even to this Bubbles. There's a lot of targets for him to actually, go for, especially even in team fights. There's a lot of things they can do. Fade is finally level 6, but hasn't used the reflection just yet, and this is kind of the reason why I prefer to see Fade in that middle lane, because he gets the levels faster and is able to pick up more farm and set up more, because those levels on Fade is quite important. Like a level 11 ultimate is so much more better as compared to the level 1, because you can always set up ganks every couple of few seconds whenever that's off cooldown. So that's really really good for him. But yeah, the Legion team right now, that Light Brand on Hag is probably going to translate to a Grimmer of Power soon enough. Hopefully we get to see some ganks coming from Pebbles, because he has that portal key already. Keeper of the Forest might even want to go for a portal key for himself, unless he decides to go for something different. Can even go for a Barrier Idol if he wants to. That will kind of nullify a lot of the magical damage coming up from this Hellburn lineup. But yeah, Ophelia's slightly off from his Astrolabe, I believe. Not sure if he has the refreshing ornament already, but yeah, he's gonna have the Astrolabe soon enough, and when he has that, look towards more push again coming up from this
Chalsef
region.
might be able to spot on Emperor. I don't think it did, but again, he is going to be down here looking to defend his spot. But is the rest of his teammates going to pot in here? That's the question though. Nope, they are actually going to be a little bit of trouble there. Emperor deciding pot away. Burning Shadow is going to stun nicely on the Emperor, and even falling up is going to be the overcharge shot. And even with the Kraken out, they're committing a lot of resources, and they will be able to pick up the Pebbles. That being said, Babael hitting only on the CD as well as the Kraken, and not able to do much of a thing, but Emperor is definitely already dead, and Nofila going to be in a little bit of trouble there, and he does go down, but Duikyu also takes the fall. That being said, Kraken now going to be a little bit of trouble there. Kraken looking to run away, but can he do that? He does have VN Sensation knocking behind him. Nova is going to nicely say hi, and will cancel out the ball charges, and that's going to be the only action happening all across the map right now, and it's going to be a pot nonetheless, and no mana on Nova. That's going to be a little bit wasted, but it will still happen, and that being said, Kraken will be safe.
Yeah, that's good. Presence of mind coming up from the Kraken. I actually kind of expected that as well, because he saw that Nova had no mana, couldn't do anything. I think he had charges on his power supply. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, he didn't have any charges in his power supply. That was just the Ring of Sorcery, I believe, coming from Keeper. But yeah, it's just too late, and couldn't get anything done because he has no mana to stun out the Kraken as soon as reporting out. So really, really clutch plays by him. And again, a lot of micro management coming up from this Ophelia. Like, he just ran in there and then was like, what do I do now? And just completely didn't know what the hell to do next. Hag did pick up a couple of kills over there. I think this is gonna be his Blessed Orb, so he will definitely reach his Grimmer of Power in the next couple of minutes. He even has a Regen Rune, and Massive Arms might be a lot problem.
Yeah,
but they don't have dust.
Yep, no dust on Team Legion, so they are gonna not be able to spot out his MOA. And that being said, though, Nox, man, he has officially overtaken the CD Swarm, and GPM of about 430. Now instead a little bit above than that of the Corrupted Disciple, doing a lot of work here. Nox, give him some space, and that's it. That's it. It's gonna be really insane. That being said, nice to 7 so far, and Imperium looking really good into this game. MRR, man, they are a little bit lost so far, and I mean, I've casted many of these MRR matches, and they always know what the hell they're doing, but this game, let me just tell you, they are a little bit stressed out right now.
Yeah, I hope that Pebbles will be able to pick up on a Shrunken Head soon, because he's getting locked down really, really hard from the stuns coming from this.
And here comes Pebbles. The Emperor gonna be able to do some combo here, but no, the Tsunami Charge gonna throw him all the way there. Chuck's gonna be in the same spot. Not gonna be able to pick up the kill on the Kraken, but here comes VN Sensation with a big root. It could be enough. The Kraken now he's still gonna land only on the Keeper. Keeper is gonna go down. A little bit of a waste of ulti there, getting nothing achieved at all. And seems like Emperor is also gonna go down. CD making a huge comeback here. Ophelia should be able to run away, but with the entire Hellborn team at its tail, it's definitely gonna be a done deal there. Ophelia is gonna go down, maybe with the stun or maybe with the Astrolabe. It should be enough, but CD still in hot pursuit, and with the Electric Tide is gonna pick up the kill, but doing kill, completely overextending it. Could it be a kill? Yep, it will be a kill, so that's gonna make sure that at least something will happen for Team Legion, and it's gonna be a 4-1 exchange, but definitely not worth the exchange, but at least they managed to get something out of it.
Yeah, that was just so unfortunate, because that was a bad blast with a Grimmer Power, which he just picked up, by the way, so it wasn't as much damage, but at least they were able to pick up the response skill on Corrupted Disciple, who was, I don't know, like what he was doing. Like, he wanted to pick up the kill on Ophelia, but I don't think that was as necessary. He could have just waited for the rest of his teammates to come and then, take down the tier 1. But at least they still get the tier 1 in exchange for his life, which I think could have been easily avoided had he not, tried to dive the tower like that. But nonetheless, that just means that they get the advantage currently in their favor right now, and it's slowing down for a Legion team right now, because like VN Sensation's doing a good job of getting out roots, but there's not enough follow-up just yet. Like Hag didn't have the Grimoire at that time. He does have it now, so he's gonna do a lot more damage. Pebbles actually initially jumped in, so couldn't do anything else because his Stalagmites was on cooldown. I only had a toss available. I do believe. Ophelia was there as well, but again he didn't have like enough creeps to do anything, and Pyromancer just being Pyromancer in that support role, it's kind of hard for him to help follow up as well if he's not able to get even close towards the team fight.
Yeah, and that's it. It is actually going to be pretty tricky right now so far because 20 minutes in and no goal lead still. Pretty much split down the middle for this entire game here. And looking at the levels, definitely top level so far is going to be that of Nox. And Nox doing a lot of work in his game. 6-0 and 2, 450 GPM with Grimoire already completed under 21 minutes. And that's really scary. That said, Nox should have the Bad Blast to deal with in the next 30 plus seconds. And that could result in a little bit of extra push. Do note that they have the Ophelia with the Keeper. So that's going to be a lot of push potential coming from the Legion team. Hellbourne, they definitely have got the Acid Bomb as well as a little bit of anti-push coming from the Bubbles and CD Electric Tide. But it shouldn't be too much to deal with considering the fact that they also got the Astrolabe on Team Legion.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Corrupted Disciple should pick up on a Shrunken Head soon.
Fate's doing a lot of work right now. Nova is going to be in a little bit of a tight spot, and it seems like it's going to be a three-man gang, and the captain goes down. He will sing with the rest of his ship. No, just kidding, but he will go down personally, and that's going to be 10-12 so far. And, I mean, Hellbourne team doing a lot of work there, managing to pick off members slowly one by one. That's going to help them a little bit with the lead. But do note that they still have to address Nox, and Nox is so far still pretty much 6-0 and 2, which means that he hasn't died yet. And if he doesn't go down, he will not be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job. Like, he's literally carrying his team right now, and that's his role. I mean, in this game, he's the carry player. He's doing a really, really good job, despite his teammates not having the best performance in this game. Pebbles does finally have that Mighty Blade purchase. Probably gonna get his Shrunken Head maybe like 4 minutes from now, depending on how the game goes. Because you see, Kraken already has a portal key. There's an initiation from him. Fade probably is gonna get a portal key soon enough. I'm not sure if he's gonna save up for that because he's kind of far away from it. They do have a bounty, by the way, picked up by Massive Arms, so that's another good thing for their team. A lot of counter warding over there. But yeah, Bubbles has his portal key as well. There's like so much initiation coming
Nova
out.
actually gonna get spot out again, and it seems like the Burning Shadow is gonna land quickly, and that's gonna be Nova. He goes down again. He doesn't know what actually hit him there. I do believe that the Ward of Sight was one of the main reasons. Maybe he knows about it, but it's cute to see how she was actually folding around a little bit longer.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, but that being said though, it's gonna be a lot of dewarding action coming from MRR, and I would say that credit definitely is going to Bomb Rusher Paul doing a lot of dewards there, as well as the fact that the wards were definitely on schedule. So I mean, Nova, he's definitely gonna need a little bit of support if he wants to ward up the passive jungle spot for his entire team.
Yeah, the reason they picked up the kill yet again was because that beautiful warp.
There's a bounty on this guy, and there's a keeper, so keeper is gonna be a little bit of trouble, but he does manage to pot away quickly. Sorry to cut you off there. I thought he might actually get caught out there.
Yeah, even then, if he got stunned out, I don't think there's enough support from this team. They're so far away. Corrupted Disciple needs the Shrunken Head, and I think he's gonna go for that straight instead of the 3 meters. Definitely believe that would be the better choice. You see the Shaman's Headdress already in Kraken's inventory. He's gonna go for that Barrier Idol, another good item choice to come out from this Hellbourne team. Sometimes you can go for Dead Soul's Bulwark first, but it's not as necessary here. They need to block out the magical damage coming from Hag mostly. Dead Soul's Bulwark can probably come later on that Kraken after he finishes the barrier. But Corrupted Disciple definitely needs a Shrunken Head so he can like just Shrunken Head out of the Keeper's ultimate and not get hit by the Bad Blast coming from Richard Hag when there's a huge team fight going on.
Yep, and that's it. The Tripper Dogs, as in the Keeper Dogs or Keeper Dogs are actually going to be able to spot out Team Hellbourne, and that's going to deter them a little bit. But that being said though, well, I mean, so far in, they haven't really killed CD too much. CD only died 3 times, and he still have a pretty decent GP, about 400 plus, and he needs to be addressed. Therefore, here comes Nova, gonna be able to land a quick stun, maybe even using the root here. That's gonna be it for Duikyu, but here comes the entire Hellbourne team right behind them, and actually not the entire Hellbourne team, but only the Fade, and Fade not able to do much of a thing. The rest of them are actually down south. Bubbles is at the bottom lane, so is Kraken nicely enjoying the Ancients there. It seems like they are not able to defend too much, but the push is still gonna be on schedule, and here comes the train. They're gonna be able to push down the top lane without much of a contest coming from the Hellbourne team. I don't believe that they are actually going to pot in here, but do note that there is no Bad Blast, there is no root to speak of, so could be pretty easy to defend against the Legion team right now.
Yeah, but the thing is they don't have the core hero, that Corrupted Disciple. He's like the one that's really doing the most, the mass amount of damage coming from the Hellbourne team. You can kind of say that, yeah, Kraken does do a lot as well because mainly of his ultimate, but usually Corrupted Disciple is the one, if you notice in team fights, he's the one that's actually chasing down the heroes and actually doing the chip damage to them and ultimately picking them up. There could be a team fight mid here though.
Yep, we do have the Invisible Fit already popping out here quickly. Gonna be able to just go in quickly with a nice stun as it seems like he's gonna go for Nox. And Nox is gonna be locked down here by the Kraken ultimate, but it seems like he is ultimately still gonna go down. Fate gonna be a little trouble, but the Raidmaster's Call is gonna be more enough to save him there. That being said, though, here comes CD. Gonna be revenge time for MR. MR looking for extra kill. Emperor gonna be a little trouble there. I don't believe that he's gonna stun and save himself. He is going down. And that being said, though, the dust is gonna be popped up from Bubbles, but he will not spot out the Keeper. Or rather, even if it did, Keeper has already pot away. So that's gonna be nicely done. And Nulish and MR, man, nicely defending the tier 2 at the mid lane. I wouldn't say that it is complete, but I would say that it's still at least outside the deniable range. So it should still be able to just go down should the next push be on schedule as well.
Yeah, that was another huge team fight actually won by MRR, and the reason they had the ability to do that is because they knew that Keeper Root was off cooldown. So even if you had the portal key, like what is he gonna do? He's just gonna portal key and slap you in the face with his 122 to 130 auto attack damage? Yeah, I don't think so. So that's a huge reason as to why they were able to have that confidence in taking the team fight, as well as that a good focus fire by them to actually lock down Hag. They did a really good job. I'm actually surprised that they were able to, have that free reign against him, because the rest of his teammates were trying to force.
Actually, go down here.
Yeah, they were able to force them.
And here comes Legion, but are you gonna take a team fight? That's the question. No, they are not. They are actually gonna back away.
But yeah. God, you keep cutting me off, my god, yeah.
Nah, I mean,
yeah,
Emperor had a portal key, man. He could have jumped anytime.
Yeah, they could have.
Sorry about that.
I don't think they would be doing that, so because there is always that ability for Hellburn teams to just capitalize on that. You're just ultimately wasting cooldowns on that token, on that Corrupted Disciple, which you can easily get out. I'm actually surprised that he went for more of the Geometer's Bane first instead of the Shrunken Head. He definitely needs that next, because yes, with the Geometer's Bane you can cancel out the root coming out from Keeper the first, but you're still gonna take a lot of magical damage from this Hag if he, bat blasts you in the face. So right now, like, Hag doesn't have that much of an issue. Like, as long as the root is thrown out, Hag just automatically uses his bat blast right off the bat, because he knows that I don't have to really wait for Corrupted Disciple to for his Shrunken Head to wear off, because he doesn't have one right now.
Yeah, he doesn't, and that being said, he does have the Geometer's Bane only, like you nicely pointed out, and he definitely needs the Shrunken Head, because if he doesn't, it's going to be a lot of damage from the Bad Blast to deal with, and that's going to nicely nerf him all the way down to about 50% health. I think that's about the safest assumption, maybe. But that being said, about 11 is to 15 so far, 3k goal lead, spiraling in favor for Team Illusion MR, and MR doing a lot of work so far. This is just game number 1, and both teams really want to win this desperately. They definitely want to pick as much of a 3-0, as in 2-0 clean series as much as possible. Do know that being in the G League so far, it's only a best of 2, not a best of 3. So if it's going to be a draw, it will end as a draw, and both teams will only take 1 point away from the entire series. That being said, though, we're looking at game 1, and it seems like Hellborn still, I mean, they are not in the position for a push. I don't believe that CD has got the extra help, but he does have the Token of Life, so that could be something to work with.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely a huge factor here in the next team fight if they want to go for it, because that just means that, yeah, sure, you use the Bad Blast. If the rest of the teammates are able to survive that, or like at least kite around and
they're gonna spot out Keeper though. Keeper's gonna be in trouble. Here comes the Fate. Here comes the Fate, and Fate not able to do much of a thing there. Quick pot away. It seems like just so close. And Nova actually gonna be able to just nicely use the Homecoming Stone. So that being said, yep, push is actually going to be well on schedule here from the Hellborn side. They are actually going to be looking to push down the mid lane. But Nox is doing his own thing up north in the top lane. He is looking to push the top tower that is no longer there, so...
Yeah, and he even has Shrunken Head. And the thing is, I felt like they could have won that fight at middle lane had Fate just used the Burning Shadows instead of waiting for his auto attack from the reflection. They could have picked up the kill Keeper, and that would have been huge, because Keeper doesn't have buyback after purchasing that Soul's Bulwark, so that was really a good opportunity for them. Although they don't have it now, they at least get the tier 2 with no contest, and Nox can't really push the top lane because they have the ability to respond really quickly. Although Kraken doesn't have... Yeah, okay, so Kraken and Corrupted Disciple don't have not Portal Key, Homecoming Stones. Here we go, middle
Yeah,
lane.
mid lane, a little bit of trouble. There goes Emperor. Emperor actually jumping by himself. A little bit questionable though. And Emperor is going down. That being said, it's going to be 4-5 kind of a team fight so far. Without Nox also. Nox will be looking at a pod back home real soon. That being said, CD looking to be really gutsy and all. He does have the token of life. That's going to be extra balls for him. And that being said, about 16-11 and 5k gold lead already. He should be looking to push this with wrestling. Yep, they are going to knock on a tier 3 and it should be going down really soon if there is no pod back. But Nox is just interested to trade towers with them. And by himself, it's pretty questionable as to the speed whether he can push down the top tier 3 before his entire mid lane is being wrecked out here. I do believe that the tower should go down. But now he's gonna pod back home and tower is actually still standing here. Milliback's challenge already. And this is gonna be the fine line whether they are able to hold this game for a little bit longer or not. The pod's gonna be happening quickly. I do believe that it's gonna be Emperor. And down goes Pebbles. He is gonna be around. And definitely has got a lot to work with right now. He does have a lot of ulti. Every single ulti is so far up in his entire game. Bubbles jumping a little bit too quickly. Stalagmite's gonna land. But it seems like they are not in the vicinity for that. And Kraken is going to be challenged by Ophelia. A little bit interesting to see that. Keeper landing a little bit of a tricky punch onto the Kraken though, and doesn't even hurt him. But yeah, just saying.
Yeah, Hellbourne team can still go back in. You can see right now that they want their intention is to go in because they have token and they're just trying to fake back in. This could be huge.
Yeah, Pebble's gonna jump onto Corrupted Disciple. That's pretty questionable again, but Kraken's gonna jump on the supply lines there, and Legion team gonna be a little bit of trouble. Keeper Root's gonna hit only on the CD, and he does Geometer out of that. That's complete of a waste. Nox coming in. Nox Bad Blast will land only on the Kraken. And again, Legion team, a lot of mistakes so far, but somehow everyone's still alive, and that's some signs of life coming from the Legion team. Definitely, Corrupted Disciple still has got the token of life, but they haven't dealt much of damage onto the range barracks. Millibrack's gonna be challenged though, and I mean, CD still so far standing, but it does take a lot of damage from the hack, and it's definitely going down now. Emperor need to be really careful. Kraken Aldi's gonna land on Emperor. Emperor going down, a lot of trouble there. He is definitely done deal there. That being said, it doesn't have enough for a buyback, so I think that's gonna be it for Emperor. And here comes Nox. He does have the sandbag from Ophelia, so that's gonna be okay. There's no token right now, no token, and Hellbourne team knows that they have overstayed their welcome and actually is gonna nicely back away.
Really good team fight coming in from Hellbourne team. They did lose a single hero. They forced the buyback on Pebbles, who was actually gonna be, up soon. I think like he didn't even need to use that that buyback they're coming up from himself, but decided to do so. He died with it though. That's just gonna set him back even that much more. He won't be able to pick up a shrunken hit anytime soon. So it's just gonna be really difficult for him. Even Fate is deciding to go for a shrunken hit himself first instead of that portal key initiation. I would actually like to see him with the portal key so he can follow up with this Kraken. As you saw over there, like Kraken had a good initiation, just jumping in, like Nice said, jumping behind the enemy lines and taking out their supply over there. I think he went onto the was it the Pyromancer raid or something like that? Yeah, he just did a really good job of
Pyromancer, that's right.
Yeah, jumping in as soon as they tried to initiate. There was a huge root coming up from VN Sensation. Oh my god. But Hag wasn't able to really follow up as quickly enough and only got the Bat Blast onto Kraken right there. So that's just really good positioning.
Yeah, but the
coming
root
from
only landed on CD that nicely was able to just come out of it with the Geometer Spin. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a misplay.
Yeah, kind of. In a sense, yeah. It just came down to a point like they had to do something. If not, they would just get the racks taken. They could have actually even dodged that team fight and just let them take the racks and only fight when everyone was together. I felt there's like a lot of misplays and very questionable decisions coming from this Legion lineup. But so far, so good for MRR. They were doing a really good job, and you see the supports coming from MRR, they're getting a lot of farm themselves. You see, not Keeper, Master of Arms has a tablet of command and on top of the Bound Eye right there. Almost about to snipe on that Wing Courier, by the way. Here comes Fate though, and he has a Shrunken Head. This is gonna be
Yep, Emperor actually gonna jump on them first hand, and it should be enough, but no. Here comes Nox, but he's gonna turn into a toy and goes. Gonna be a little bit of trouble there. Here comes Emperor. Emperor's gonna be a little bit of in fact, he is still standing somehow. Nox actually gonna be able to kill Bomber Sharp Holders, but Emperor is definitely going down. It seems like the Sensation is gonna be safe though, and Nova is gonna have to deal with all this illusion from the CD. Bastam actually goes down next, and it seems like Nova is gonna go down next, and the entire Legion team, all that's left is really just Nox as well as VN Sensation. That being said, it's gonna be 2 against 5, and I think they might be done here, man.
Yeah, they very well could be, because that was again another huge team fight for MR, and Corrupted Disciple again just came down to the fact that Corrupted Disciple has that Shrunken Hit and the Geometer Spain that even
here we go. Keeper's gonna be a little trouble there. He goes down equally quickly, and that being said, I mean, Yeah, here comes Nox. Can Nox do anything
Yeah.
against a 5-man aggression pushing down his top tier 3? It's pretty questionable so far, but do note it's only 4 men there, and not 5. My bad, because I thought Emma was still alive, but apparently he's in hell already, and should be pretty happy there. That being said, Nox, he doesn't have the Bad Blast for the next 70 seconds, and well, the good thing is that Emperor actually comes back a little bit quickly, and with Ophelia Sandbag should be able to do a little bit of extra harassment, and they are actually able to just save the top Rex and the tower there. So a lot of work being done, and my bad, they're not done. They are still fighting for this.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, that's just it's looking really grim for a Legion team. That Culture Sheepstick by the way, that was picked up by Bubbles, played a huge part in that previous team fight as well. It's just going back to the fact that Hellburn team, they were able to take advantage throughout the middle stage of this game and pick up a lot of farm and a lot of gold advantage into their favor, and that's why they had items. Because they had items, they were able to win the team fights. So it comes down to that as well. Like you see that Legion lineup, Pebbles doesn't have his shrunken head. Hag's actually the only one that's doing really well for his team. He wasn't close to his Culture Sheepstick anywhere, but he did have the Shrunken Head and the not Dreamer, it's the Grimmer of Power. As for like the rest of his supports coming in from this Legion lineup, they don't have anything. Like what does Nova have? He only has Steam Boots and Power Supply. Ophelia only has that Bound Eye, which I think he just freshly purchased that as well. Sitting on the same items for a really long time. Like they don't have the items that they need on the Legion lineup. They don't even have the Restoration Stone Keeper because he's forced to go for that Soul's Bulwark first. Because Pebbles just can't get the space to farm his shrunken head, so it's just going towards the economic factor right here as well,
Yeah.
and the fact that MR is just taking really good team fights.
Well, 13k gold lead already, MR looking really good. But that being said though, Emperor, he has been initiating without his team over and over again. I'm not sure if that was actually part of the plan, but I mean, going in one by one is better than going in as in an entire team if you want to pick off the CD with the token, just in case, you know, the entire Hellborn team just bites on you, and it's gonna be really scary if they do that. So a little bit of mind game happening there. But that being said, Emperor, I think in the last engagement he did jump again a little bit too quickly, and the rest of his teammates are not there. Only Nox is there, and speaking about Nox, is gonna be in a lot of trouble there, and there goes Nox. He is going down quickly. Nova is gonna be the next in line, but it seems like the root's gonna save him. The OVN station doing a lot of work. A pot back happening here. Emperor's gonna say hi, but that's really limited as to what he can really do right now. Bubbles is going to be a lot of trouble, but he will be able to stay safe. But Nox does buy back, and Nox looking to do something there. He does.
Wow.
Nicely shrunken it, and that's just in time though. And the Bad Blast landing on both the MOA as well as the Fate. But Nox is not able to pick them off, and it seems like top lane CD is doing a lot of work against his Rexes as well as the tier 3 by himself. He will be able to do that. The Emperor's Stand-House Gumbo does go down, but a little bit questionable as to what he can achieve there. And Emperor now going to be a little trouble, and he will be looking a lot of trouble. He goes down again, and that makes it the rest of his team isn't able to just back him out. Bubbles standing at such a low health point was able to do a lot of damage onto the Pyromancer before he backs away. And that being said, it's going to be a hat trick for Duikyu. Duikyu again doing a really good job. Nova knows his GG well played. They're going to call it here, and game 1 will go to MRR.
Yeah, a huge part of that success in the team fight was they used a lot of resources to pick up the kill on Bubbles, and the reason I went whoa and was because like if I'm not mistaken, Cheeto and X, he portal keyed right next to Bubbles, used the barrier idol, and that was what saved his life. Like he would have died to the burn from Pyromancer as well as the burn from the light. Sorry, not the light, man, the Grimmer of Power. But because he had that barrier idol proc onto him, that was huge. He survived. They wasted time going there. There was a huge skirmish going on at the top lane, which they ultimately won. And then you saw the rest of his the Legion lineup completely going over there after failing to kill off the Bubbles. And because Bubbles was alive, you saw him again. He went back in. He just, even though he was such low HP, he went back in, used the Culture Sheepstick onto, I think it was a Pyromancer or something like that. That cancelled out the ability for him to nuke the Hellburn team out or even stunned him. And yeah, I mean, just really well played coming from MRR. That's teamwork. I mean, over there, like just blinking in and using the barrier idol on just only yourself and that Bubbles just to save him. That was huge.
It's pretty good gameplay cover on Illusion MR. They did a really good job going to game 1 there. But that being said, impunity.storm, a lot of misplay actually. If you look at that, Emperor always a little bit of soloist jumping in too quickly. I would say that it should be part of the plan actually to jump in, but the backup is just not as quick. Do note that they have only the Ophelia as well as a keeper without a portal key, so he can't initiate like that unless he's looking to chuck people back into the base, and that should be a different story. But so far he hasn't done that in the entire game, and that's a little bit regrettable to see. That being said, game 1 will go to Illusion MRR. And we hope you guys enjoyed that cast. It's probably brought to you by Epic Gaming Television. You do stay by for Game 2. This is Babael. With me is Lark. Game 2 is going to happen real soon. So grab a little bit of a toilet break and see you guys quickly. Goodbye.